What is a woman's true beauty and how can it come out the best?
Oh my God. What a question. Many years back, I read a book by Swami Vivekananda. And he describes the three great women that he heard about. And all across the line, he said the quality these three women shared, and even after 5,000 years or 10,000 years, we still remember them, is because of their humility. Humility makes them so irresistibly attractive. That's all I can say. Imagine you may have a beauty, par galore, but if such a beautiful woman has arrogance, think the opposite way. Then you will realize what's the use of such a beautiful woman. She's full of arrogance. I have nothing to do with such a person. So it is humility, that would embellish her own beauty. It will take it to a next level.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. Now, while a lot of men admire humility in women, what do you feel women should admire in men?
Courage. Imagine having a husband who is always trying to hide behind you. It won't be a right husband. He'll say, oh, somebody is attacking, and he says, oh, Pasna, why don't you find out who is out there? Then you will laugh at such a husband. What are you doing? You should be in the forefront and try to tackle the problem. So I would say in a man, I would look for something with this courage.
For men and humility for women. That's something that we will work towards achieving. So, Daaji, the world is going through so much turmoil, and people are, trying to be happy and finding their happiness from within. And it's a constant search. All of us are seeking happiness. What is the one thing that we need to do in our daily routine that's easy? Meditation for a lot of people is tough. So what are the simple things one thing that we can do to achieve happiness?
Well, let's think in a different way. Would you be happy when rest of the world is happy and you are not? So my happiness need not depend or need not be spoiled because there is disturbance outside. My life is in my control. Everybody else's life I cannot control. Though personally I do get affected by the lives of my loved ones. Right? So that is one point to be considered. Secondly, you have already put a condition that what if I am not able to meditate? Will I be happy? You have robbed me of my own answer. You have put a checkmate on me that remove meditation and tell me how can you be happy. I think you can't be. Without meditation, you can't be. Hear me out in a logical way. And I am quoting from Gita, something from chapter 2, perhaps the sloka number 65. And I'm not so good at Sanskrit, so I remember numbers. And tell you, go and read this sloka. But the essence is this, that Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that everyone even a small ant, a donkey, a dog, they all would like to be happy. And especially human beings. There is no limit to this happiness. With human beings, there are, levels and transcendental forms of happiness. For example, what is the difference between happiness, joy, and bliss? See, these are all incremental in their subtlety. Let's focus mainly on happiness. Can you be happy when you are restless? You can have everything, and you have everything, as far as the worldly acquisitions are concerned. But if you are restless from inside, anxious from inside, stressed for whatever reason inside, you can't enjoy that happiness or the acquisitions that we have. How to tackle this restlessness? Restlessness can be eradicated when we create a field of harmony within us. A harmonious heart cannot tolerate, cannot handle, or cannot have this sort of restlessness. So harmony is required. And harmony is not possible unless and until you are at peace with yourself. See? In this harmony and peace, they are achievable only when you have developed contemplative mind. And contemplative mind demands some level of ability of mind to focus. And ability of mind to focus rests in the hands of a meditator. If you cannot meditate, you cannot exercise your mind, you cannot regulate your mind. You cannot regulate your mind, that means you don't have peace. You don't have peace, you can't have harmony, you can't have contemplative mind, and you will be robbing yourself from happiness. And not only that, your restlessness spreads around you, your field, your vibrations. Let's see, when you're angry, what happens to your husband or to your children? They will be on their toes. And when you are really happy or so joyful, or you are so pleasantly in a blissful state after meditation, that state itself spreads around. And that's why one person is enough. If that person is really, really meditating so well, it affects in its own orbit other individuals also in the family, and they would also naturally be inclined towards going within. So a meditator sets an example for rest of the families. Even if they don't meditate, they will admire this quality of a person who is so poised and calm and introvert. They'll say, okay, I'm not able to do it, but I do admire this person, and one day, who knows, I might be able to become like them. So it gives you not only yourself a joy, but some other person also to look forward to such spiritual states. So meditation is the key. If you can meditate and later on remain meditative, and meditative mind does not set the ripples in the environment. They don't set out the stressful vibrations in the environment. So not only you become happy, but you are setting the tone in the environment for others to also imbibe.
That's amazing advice, because my mind is always racing. And I think that I really need to calm down and meditate. And I've seen it also. I've seen lots of success. I've been able to make more stable decisions in my work when I calm down and I meditate, even if it's for 5 minutes. So I'm trying my best, and I hope others will try it with me too. Another thing that we've learned through COVID is that people value relationship success much more than financial success now, because human lives matter now, and the relationships that we share with people matter. So then I was sitting at a board meeting, and my board was reviewing how the balance sheet and how my company was doing, and they said, oh great, this, that. But we never stopped to do that for our relationships that we share. We never review them every quarter. Nobody monitors them for us. So what do you feel are the benchmarks that need to be reviewed every quarter in relationships?
Well, if I had to watch my back every step I move, then I'm not in good relationship. See, if my wife demands that every evening I bring roses, then I don't think I can put up with such a wife. I have to accept whether, it's a once and for all sort of a bond that we are making, especially in our tradition. You are happy or going through hell, that is one relationship we learn to live with. See, it's easy to say I can't put up with this nonsense. But that has become a trend, and then divorces happen just like that. On drop of a hat, you are divorced. But it takes a lot to stay put and accept each other. In America, we have this idea of tolerance, ethnic tolerance, tolerating your neighbors. In fact, I had a conversation with one of the sheikhs in United Arab Emirates, where they had formed the Ministry of Tolerance. And I said, what a mockery. Then I asked the sheikh, suppose you tell your wife, honey, I tolerate you. So why are you creating such a nomenclature for the ministry which is so noble? So in relationship there is so much of acceptance that you are not even aware of this fact that I'm accepting or not. So if you have to retake the accounts of your relationship, then I think something has gone wrong. I should not become a watchdog on my relationship. I have such a free relationship. I must not worry about it at all. That is the best relationship. Each time I have to take an account of my relationship every now and then you are starting with a negative approach. It's a negative attitude towards the relationship. This is one take. But incrementally, I think when we as husband and wife meditate together, to me it's the best solution. See, try this out also. People who are in the bed together, hold each other's hands and inhale together and exhale together. Even this simple exercise will take you to a different level of bonding. Don't figure out where you have gone wrong, because surely you will find out not you're wrong, but other person's wrong. Because when you're taking the accounts of relationship, you're not looking only at yourself, you're looking at the other person also. So you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you are supposed to do this. Then you are in big trouble. See? So in fact, instead of identifying which thing I should be looking for, let's focus on what I should not be engaging myself in.
Daaji, when you were talking about relationships, sometimes, people feel they are taken for granted. So my mother feels that I take her for granted. And, I want to build my relationship more with her. But, it's not transactional, it's just love. And I think that's more and more, what she wants more of my time. Same thing, sometimes I can take my spouse for granted also. But how do we break this? How do we make relationship secure. I love the fact that you said that, you can hold hands and, you go into different space. And I think that's something that we have to try. But what can we do to make sure that the other person doesn't feel that they're taken for granted?
Well, I have not pondered over all these, negative aspects of relationships, and it's difficult for me to answer that. You give an example, mother asking for more time from yourself. Why not? What's wrong with it? Right? If she demands, it's her right to demand. Remember your childhood days. I mean, you can't remember anything that happened, below the age of 5 or something like that. But we can recollect all these things by seeing our children, how much time we devote to them. Right? Similarly, my mother must have devoted so much of time for me. She must have had sleepless nights when I was sick. Am I able to spend at least 10% of that time she spent in raising me? So it's not a question of taking for granted. Her demands are legitimate. It is unfortunate that mother has to speak that you're neglecting me. And it's similarly, our other dear ones in the family also. Why give this opportunity for them to complain? Where did we go wrong? That means the idea of viveka, how much time I should allocate in my business, how much time I should allocate to other things in my family life. You see, these problems of Western style of life, of going out into something which is culturally not conducive in Indian society. By and large, we have a different way of lifestyle. Moment you make such a change, such a drift, there will be turbulence. And unless and until both parties are understanding and adjusting to this new shift that is happening culturally, I think this problem will remain.
Was really, really insightful. Daaji, one last question before I move to the audience. I've been getting a lot of messages on my social media, and yesterday also some people sent me this question. There's a sense of, this is from the audience. They say that, a lot of people here have kids that are born here, and so they feel that they are from the United States. The others have been born in India but don't have citizenship, and they've come here. So they don't have a sense of belonging. How do they build that sense of belonging, and to who do they build it to? Do they build it to the United States? Do they build it to India? What do they do? A lot of them are confused.
Well, this is a matter of attitude altogether. The humanity is moving into a different direction altogether. Thinking oneself to be just an Indian, or just a Hindu, or just a Christian, or just a Muslim, or just an American citizen, it's limiting us. Ideal thing is we are all human. Citizenship, etc. is too superficial. But we, in a practical world, see, when we are living in United States, our allegiance is to United States. You live in India, your allegiance is to India. Now, what is the difference between allegiance and cherishing the values? The American value system, Indian value system, they are both great in their own individual sense. I pick up both best of both the worlds. What we are doing, the new culture that is emerging, I'm not complaining of youth, I'm complaining of adults who have crossed 40s. They have picked up the worst of both. You see, Atta party is going on outside. You can see it in front of your eyes. They pick up the worst of India, the worst of United States and combine and say, wow, we are enjoying life. That will be a tragedy. If you want to align yourself as a youth and become an ideal, have a universal principle, and if possible, go to a cosmic principle. Cherish the values which are best and avoid that can degrade my overall growth.
That's super insightful. Thank you so much. A lot of people will find a lot of peace with your answer. Thank you.